In a monumental move, WWE has announced that Monday Night Raw is moving back to 2 hours a week. One of the most long asked for prayers by WWE fans is finally answered. Starting October 7th, Monday Night Raw is going back to 2 hours. We're going to talk about all the details about this situation, what we know, what the announcement was, how this impacts WWE on Netflix, which is set to kick in January. All that, much more coming up right here in this video. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. All right, exciting times in WWE. Not only do we have the big move from SmackDown from Fox to USA, but it has been announced that Monday Night Raw is moving back to 2 hours a week through the rest of the year. Here is what WWE announced earlier today on X. Breaking: WWE Raw will be on USA Network from 8 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern starting Monday, October 7th, through the rest of 2024, culminating with the USA Network finale on Monday, December 30th. And obviously that Monday, December 30th date has been something that fans have been hearing about. The final day of Monday Night Raw on USA Network before the big move and premiere on Netflix on January 6th. And we're getting 2 hours of Raw every week now on USA, something that fans have been literally clamoring for since they announced the move to 3 hours a little over, 13 years ago at this point? 12 years ago, actually, because you will remember Raw 1000 back in 2012, the summer of 2012. It was a big moment because obviously they had this, not only this big 3 hour show, but it was announced that Monday Night Raw for the rest of time was going to move to 3 hours. And at the time it was like, oh great, we're getting more wrestling. We love that. And then we realized that a 3 hour live television product for wrestling especially can drag every single week. And sometimes it's better not to have too much, but have just enough to keep you wanting coming back. And this is, in all seriousness, been one of the biggest drawbacks for Monday Night Raw, not just for the larger fan base, but for me personally. I think that part of a perfect wrestling show and part of putting on a good wrestling show is you want to keep people coming back. You want to make sure that, you satisfy them and make sure they feel like they got their time and money's worth. But you also want to make sure that the show doesn't drag too much. Not everything on the show needs to be filler. However, in the years following that move to 3 hours, Raw and the vibe around Raw became that of, this is a show that you only need to watch for like really 1 hour. You can kind of switch it on at 10 p.m., zoom through the stuff that isn't important, and lo and behold, you'll finish it by the time Raw is on the air. And that is a huge problem when you're talking about live TV. It's part of the reason why the ratings dip for Raw. And while it has been very lucrative for WWE, obviously 3 hours of content every single week for USA means more ads, means the ability for them to make more money, get more revenue, and for WWE to cash in on the revenue that USA is getting through these big TV deals that they have signed. Multi-billion-dollar TV deals with multiple NBC properties. It's going to go a long way, and it's going to stop the move back to 2 hours. And for a long time, I was one of those people who believed this was never going to happen, but it seems like in this weird couple of months, they are temporarily going to do this, and I think there's two potential reasons why. Number one, the contract for WWE Raw actually, technically ran out in the fall of this year. And part of the question when they announced this Netflix deal was, okay, Raw and USA, that deal is up in the fall of 2024. The Netflix deal didn't start until January of 2025. Where was Raw going to be in those couple of months? And then it was later obviously announced that they had come to an agreement with USA Network that Raw was going to be a part of the, lineup for USA through the rest of the year, and it was going to stay on USA. But I think part of this is, USA Network obviously made plans as if they did not have Monday Night Raw. And that is how they scheduled out their programming. That is how they have kind of planned things out over these next couple of months. But obviously, when this thing came through, they were like, all right, well, we're temporarily going to have Raw, it seems. And because of that, maybe this is a little bit of USA Network being like, well, we know that this is a property that is not going to be as a long-term deal for us. So I think I could see this as, Raw has always been a big lead-in show for USA. Like they like to use it, and they have used it in the past to kind of lead into other shows. And I think that part of the deal here for USA is you're going to have about anywhere between 1.5 and 2 million people tuning in to Raw. Well, realistically, like 1.4 to 1.7 during football season. But you're going to have a good chunk of people tuning in. It's your highest rated show. You might as well put something on at 10 p.m., potentially a news show, potentially something that, you want people to like tune in for in that 10 p.m. slot that, is going to increase the value of that show and increase the viewership of that show so you can sell that more so to your advertising partners. And I think that could be part of the goal here. I also think, and this is a hunch, this is me just guessing, reckless speculation, part of this might also be, we have seen a few times Raw has gone commercial free for the first hour. And for those of you who don't know, that is not something that, is necessarily, just a commercial free thing and, you're getting less ads or whatever. That first hour has no ads, but then the next 2 hours have the same amount of ads that you would normally have in a 3-hour show. So the whole thing is kind of condensed down and, the product is a lot less. The content that WWE is actually producing is a lot less. I could see, and if we do see this, it would be really funny, honestly, them potentially being like, all right, we're going to fit 3 hours worth of ads into 2 hours in a 2-hour block. And then like whatever our next show is, maybe that'll be limited commercial interruption, and that'll help boost the ratings for whatever that 10 p.m. show is going to be. Maybe it's that. I also think there could be a component of WWE realizing that, while content is king and you want to have as much content as possible, with this deal coming up with Netflix, Raw doesn't necessarily need to be a certain amount of time. And I could see a situation where the timing of Raw is a little bit unpredictable. You don't know whether it's going to be a 2-hour show. You don't know whether it's going to be a 3-hour show. And that is the benefit of the flexibility you get with streaming. And I think maybe this is a little bit of WWE being like, well, maybe they want to go down that route. Maybe they just want to be like a little bit unpredictable. Be like, all right, tonight Raw was 2 hours 15. Next week's going to be 3 hours. Next week is going to be 2 hours and like 5. I could see that being a thing, and them wanting to maybe condition fans to be like, all right, Raw is only going to be a set amount of time. Do not expect 3 hours. We will see what happens. But a lot of interesting pieces here. A lot of interesting pieces. But one thing's for sure, WWE Monday Night Raw might actually be more digestible than we thought for the next couple of months at least. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section about this move. Was this the right move for WWE? Was this the right move for fans? Will it backfire? I want to hear from you in the comments. Also, be sure, if you haven't already done so, to please smash that like button. Leave a thumbs up. It really helps out. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released.